Hello, welcome to this video. This is the video from the terrace of the property I lived in Coconut Grove in Miami. You can see some of the city from here, and the weather is beautiful, so I'm just really enjoying it. Isn't it beautiful? Okay, so today's video, I want to talk about your husband. Yes. So what I want to share with you is that your husband is for you to love and not feel dependent on. And let me explain. So some of my people I know reached out to me as I'm doing the trip, and they're sharing with me what their friends and our common people are talking about me in terms of how I'm taking a solo trip. And some of the women were like, yeah, I mean, what's the fun in having a solo trip, right? So as I was talking to them, I realized, I'm like, that's one of the reasons women give to themselves to actually kind of not do the things that they want to do. I mean, I'm not saying solo trip is for everybody, right? But you don't know if it's for you or not until you do it. And most of you probably deep down really want to do it, but there are a lot of reasons you tell yourself you can't do it. For one, you have kids, so you can't. You have your husband, so you can't. Or you feel very dependent on your husband. You've not traveled alone, and you don't know if you can really manage that, right? Like, there's so many reasons you give yourself, but they're really the reasons that are at the surface that stop you from even exploring what your desires are. You haven't even given yourself a chance, right? And the reason, one of the main reasons, I'm just going to pick one reason, one of the main reasons I see women not doing it is because they also feel dependent on their husbands. Now, these women, like you, are independent women who have the financial resources, who have the means, who know how to travel the world, but they would not do it alone, because in some way, when they travel themselves, they feel kind of emotionally or psychologically or actually logistically dependent on their husbands, right? So that's what I want to really challenge and like ask you, that you have an opportunity to redefine your relationship with your husband. I mean, for a long time, I was dependent on my husband. I thought I needed him even to help me with my business in the beginning, right? Ironically, he didn't know anything about my business, but I thought he knew better than I do. So that was the pattern that I had, to be dependent on my husband, because that's how we have been conditioned to be dependent on men. But I really want to offer you, where your growth lies is when you do the work on yourself to become the person who doesn't need to be dependent on you, because your husband is not there to serve you in the ways that you need to. Your husband is there for you to love. And when your relationship becomes like that, where you actually love him, you don't need him, but you love him and you're with him because you love him, you can actually be there for that connection, way more deeper connection that you otherwise would be. So I really, really, really encourage you to take the plunge and do the things which make you the person who's no longer dependent on her husband, but who just loves being with him, and the relationship she has is amazing. So your husband is there for you to love, not be dependent on, okay? Bye.